Hello and welcome back to the Gloves Off Helmets On podcast.
Hi, it's been a while.
It's been a long time. We've actually been on holiday, so
Yeah, we have, and considering the fact that there hasn't been a race in between, and then we had
a week off. Yeah. So a bit of a late Japan ranking, but if anything, it's a good thing because you get the Japan one now, and then in a couple of days you'll get the Bahrain one. So you know, in a way, it's more content. Anyway,
we also got back from holiday, and now I'm ill, so if I do sound like a man for the majority of this, I apologise, or down the microphone, I'll try not to.
Okay, good. Well, hopefully you can refrain, but whatever. You know, sometimes in life you go, let me just, this is so unprofessional of me, let me just, right, okay, there we go. Right, so we've got the Japan race rankings now. Before we get into that, obviously, wasn't the best of races.
Yeah, I think the whole of social media and all the fans have pretty much
but let's not
boring race.
let's not just think F1, it's boring again. No, it's not. It's just one race, alright. So calm down. It's not the end of the world.
We touched on talking about it earlier, and you were saying it's to do with the track now. They've changed it a little bit.
Resurfacing and the new tyre compounds and whatnot. So it is what it is. It's one
basically
race.
Just makes it harder to overtake in certain opportunities.
Too much dirt,
to what it was
the issue. But yeah, let's obviously as well with Lawson and Tsunoda swapping, we've just kept everything the same, but we've swapped Lawson and Tsunoda basically. Obviously, it makes sense. So obviously Lawson will be ranked with Hadjar and Tsunoda will be ranked with Verstappen.
There has also been I'll get to them when I'm discussing the drivers and the performance, but there's been a couple of things this week as well which are very telling about the future of this season, I think, which is what I picked up on. There's some underlying tones between some teams that are a little bit awkward. Well, I think from what I've seen and what I interpreted myself from McLaren this weekend, this is a personal opinion, and I think a lot of people also share this opinion, but I think that this weekend for McLaren, very successful overall for both drivers on paper, but I think they are creating a disaster because Zach's favouritism towards Norris, which he unapologetically adores Lando Norris, everyone can see that.
He does.
And I think with that, it's overshadowing Piastri a lot, which evidently you could see this weekend.
Yeah,
I think that favouritism that Zach has towards Norris is going to create Piastri to be sort of like the villain, because think every rivalry, one of them is painted out to be the villain. It's happened time and time again.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to try and, it's naturally social media and sort of the way that people speak about it, I think it is going to naturally favour Norris in that way. And I think that sort of favouritism puts Piastri in a bad light, I personally think, and I think a lot of people think he is a very different driver in his own right, and in some ways better than Norris. And I think the way that they handle certain situations within the team are very much favouritism on one side of the paddock, which is very, very nice.
Well, I completely disagree, and that is the beauty of a debate. So, I think.
Well, what's your stance on it?
Well, they've just signed Piastri on the same financial. The same wage as Norris. They wouldn't do that if it was going to be favouritism to Norris. 2, they said to Norris in China, if you catch him, don't overtake, just let's bring the cars home first and second, no problem. So I think whoever's in the favourable position, now, in my opinion, they should have swapped them around because Piastri had more of a chance than, it seemed like Piastri was quicker, and the team orders, obviously they didn't use the team orders, but I think because they obviously now, I think they want 2 number 1 drivers, which never worked, but I think that's their aim. So I would like to think if Piastri was second and Norris were a bit quicker, it would have been the same result and they wouldn't have swapped them.
I don't think it was. But also on the whole debating thing, everyone's obviously going to debate these topics. With them being on the exact same contract now, do you think that's to sort of take away from the fact that there is going to be somewhat favouritism over the next couple of years, because Norris is McLaren's favourite? Everyone knows that.
I don't know. I think
Do you think putting them on that same wage and sort of leveling out the playing field on the sort of financial and job wise side of things, sort of dulls the fact that like one of them is going to the favourite. You know, making everyone think on paper like, oh, they're just paid the same, they get treated the same, it's fine.
I think at the minute, because they have the fastest car, it's just a situation of let them race and see what happens. When you have the fastest car, it doesn't matter as much because you're going to win the constructors anyway, aren't they? Like this year, they've already gone. In that sense. So yeah, I think they're pretty 50-50 at the minute, and if a title fight does occur with a Verstappen or a Russell, they'll favour the one who's further in front, and that's fine.
On the top...
we could do a whole episode on this.
I know. Idea.
Yeah.
On the topic of fast cars though, Verstappen has done the fastest lap in Suzuka history.
Yeah.
In that car.
The
one that Lawson couldn't get past 17th. So, do the maths.
Anyway, we need to stop blabbing and get on with the rankings, because that's what everyone's here for. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, we will. I actually do want to do a good. Maybe we'll let a couple more races go by, and we'll do a whole load of debates, and we'll just debate and fall out with each other.
We'll definitely touch on the rivalries and sort of the things that are brewing, because obviously each season something brews, and we will definitely.
So I'll tell you what. After Saudi Arabia,
we'll go halfway. We'll do a.
We do a few after Saudi Arabia. We're going to do one. Right, okay. I'm saying it now. I'm putting manifesting it, so we have to do it now. I've said it. So in about 3 weeks, you'll get one of them.
I hope they have a brawl in the meantime.
Yeah, there's something else will happen.
Hot goss to bring.
It's already been pretty spicy. So anyway, right, let's go. Rankings. Racing Bulls. Very high start for me. Isaac Hadjar.
No. What a king.
It's shushed all of the haters. In the Red Bull family, Isaac Hadjar has the second most points this season, behind Max Verstappen. Fun fact. 5-star for me, and not even debatable. It's 5-star, unbelievable. I'm not going to give out 5. I haven't been giving out 5 stars for fun. This man that's a 5-star race. He could not have finished higher than 8th, and he was not too far from Hamilton. So Hadjar, well done.
Sonoda packed his suitcase. Hadjar went, my turn.
Yep, he said, you know what?
He said, yeah.
I'm taking that one off Sonoda.
Make friends. I'm not here to make friends. How about I'm here to store points?
Yeah.
He said, Lawson, you can.
Whoa, we're trying to get paid for this.
Sorry.
Anyway, we're not getting paid.
But,
so
you know, he said to Lawson, he's like, not you, mate. My turn.
So what have you given?
5.
Wow. And you know what?
Points, qualifying, stunning.
Yep. Couldn't have qualified
race.
higher, couldn't have finished higher in the race.
No,
perfect race, no mistakes. Exactly what he needs to do.
100% redeemed himself from that first weekend.
Yeah.
I think everyone was sort of thinking, oh, we've got a new guy to bully on the grid. No.
Yeah.
And so he should, because now Snow's out of the way, he's going to I really think he's going to do some good things.
Yeah, and if he can keep outperforming Lawson, it's just going to get better for Hadjar. Like you know what I mean? Because Red Bull don't. If Sonoda underperforms, Red Bull don't really like him anyway. Clearly, so if Hadjar can like really batter Lawson, it could be like a case of do we just whack Hadjar in for 2026? Who knows? Honestly, I don't know. It's crazy. It's absolutely mad.
Crazy times.
But yeah, Sonoda's obviously contracted till the end of this season, so and as is Hadjar. So who knows if they swap him around? It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah.
Boy, are we moving on to Lawson.
Liam Lawson, obviously. Existing Red Bull after 2 absolutely career detrimental races, it has to be said. You'd like to think he'd bounce back. You know, he's a slower car, lower pressure. He's obviously can drive that car better. He did out-qualify Sonoda, but he had a very poor race. It's a 1.5 from me.
That car, Hadjar's performance, Sonoda's performance for the past 2 races in it. What?
6th in the sprint, China.
What are the scientific facts of that? Because it's not adding up. Qualified 13th, fair enough. 17th, finished.
Really poor race.
That's terrible. What?
Shame. It's hard to watch.
It's very hard to watch.
Yeah.
I think it's not getting better.
Yeah.
He's got 1 star from me. Also, on the topic of racing bulls, it's come to light this weekend that Hadjar has been talking about his potential future at Red Bull, and he went, if the opportunity came, he'd be down, which I think is also a very good mindset to have that confidence. He's sure of himself, and I like it.
Yeah, and he's not in a rush, and that's good. Okay,
yeah.
That's a lot of Racing Bulls drama this weekend. Great race from Hadjar, so yeah. Moving on to Haas Ollie Behrman. Solid race again. I mean,
another one of the rookies.
Yeah,
The
back to back points
fire.
for Behrman. Can't ask for more than that. It's a 4-star. Very solid.
So I gave him originally a 4.5. Do you know what? I'm going to let him keep it because, again, when you're looking at sort of the front 10 10 cars realistically in the grid now at the moment.
Yep.
I think the same for like obviously Hadjar's finishing position. I think Berman couldn't have really done more.
Okay.
Especially in the last. So I think qualifying 10th and keeping it at 10th, I think he really, really well.
Definitely.
In the car that he's in, and obviously when you look at his teammates' performance of Ocon, which we will get to in a moment, he's done extremely well this weekend. And again, it's like each rookie, every single race they're doing, they're all getting better. And it's nice.
It kind of should be like that, but yeah.
So yeah, he's got 4.5 stars for me.
You don't want to peak too early though, because if they're doing this now, they've got to keep it up.
Well.
Anyway, Esteban Ocon was convincingly beaten by Berman this weekend, which is not what you would expect from Ocon. Ocon, he knows himself he needs to be the team leader, doesn't he? So a 1.5 for Esteban Ocon, same as Lawson. Absolute stinker.
Yeah, he qualified 18th, finished 18th. Nothing really
Nothing
changed
happened.
there. Yeah, it's not really the best from him, so I've given him 1 star.
Okay, not much to say on that. Let's just move on to the Saubers.
Sauber.
I'm a bit disappointed. They had a great start to the season, Sauber, and it's disappointing me a bit. But Bortoletto, it's not clicking for him yet. It needs to start.
It's hard, isn't it? Like there's clicking and then there's like I don't know. Both of them have got so much more to give, but they can't give it.
Yeah, I've given Bortoletto a 2 star. I just think it's pretty poor. Like, yeah, not much else on it.
It must be so frustrating as the driver though to be in that car, knowing that you're fully capable of doing more.
I've not seen it yet. I don't think he is. I haven't seen it.
One sort of view I take in it is I think between Hulkenberg and Bortoletto, I think they both know that they can do a lot more and know that they're capable of a lot more on the grid. And I think that's when they push that car and make little mistakes because they're pushing it too much to something it cannot do.
Yeah, maybe. That's
so,
a good point.
That's what I think they're trying to find, like the fine line between pushing too hard and pushing in a comfortable way where the car can take it. And I think it is just that sort of period where they're in the middle trying to figure that one out.
So what if you give Gabby B?
It hurts, but we give him a 1.
A 1? Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah, it is, and I'd feel really nasty for it, but like when you're looking at these sort of success this weekend,
he was better than Ocon and Lawson this weekend.
Yeah, he was. No, I don't know. It's hard when you're looking at like the statistics side of it and like the numbers and what he's done this weekend. I don't think.
Yeah, it's not been great. No denying that.
I'd love to give him more because I support him a lot, and I think he's going to do some good things.
Yeah.
But
he's learning. Hulkenberg, a little bit better than Bortoletto, but again, to be fair, I think Hulkenberg had a pretty solid race. It could have been better. Obviously, I suppose you can always do better, but that car doesn't seem to be anywhere. 3 star for me from Hulkenberg. I think solid race.
Yeah, so he's not far off. He's got 2.5 from me. Again, solid race, held his position. Not more than that of what he could do really. It's just basically the same thing. The car's not the best. They're doing the best they can with it. So we'll just have to see how the season progresses and how the next couple of years do for them really.
For sure. Alpine, the only team that haven't scored. We're going to move on to them now.
I really wasn't expecting
I thought Alpine were going to be flying out of the blocks, but here we are. Jack Doohan. Not his worst race. But
no, actually, I thought that when watching it, and
yeah, it felt like he was just plodding around on his own, really.
In practice, though.
Yeah.
Are we going to touch on that?
Yeah.
That poor car.
Poor car, poor man, poor team.
It looked bad.
Yeah, it was a big crash.
It was shattered. Looking at like they never really checking the actual state of the car. He looked pretty shook up as well when you see him getting out of it, which was nice.
We take that into account slightly. Doesn't mean as much as the race, but we don't forget.
Yeah, I took it into account when rating him.
2 star, Jack Doohan.
Yeah, so I've matched that too. He's got 2 stars from me. Qualified 19th, finished 15th, which I think is quite good from him. That is probably the best he's done, really.
It's honestly probably is his best race.
I think it is his best race out of he made a big improvement from his crash, obviously. But it's just not what he's not helping himself. It's not what they want.
Colapinto in, I think. That's not my opinion, but I think that's what's happening.
I have seen though this week. So, sorry, what's the is it Oliver Oakes?
Ollie Oakes, yeah.
He has actually come out this week and said about. So he was discussing what he likes about doing, and he mentioned being able to shut out the outside world and not listen to, I think he said like the headache and what people are saying, which obviously relates to the fact that everyone's like, oh my god, you're going to get kicked out in a place like Colapinto. So maybe that is insinuating that it won't happen as soon as you think. I don't know, but it sort of seemed like he was defending him a bit on that front by sort of supporting him and saying like he's basically don't listen to the rubbish. Yeah. And it feels like the team are sort of telling him that as well, so I don't know how it'll pan out, but maybe Colapinto will come in a bit later on than we all have sort of thought.
Yeah, okay. I like it. Gasly. A little bit better than doing, but again, it's not what Gasly's got way more in him than what he did. So 2.5 star for me.
I'm quite disappointed with Gasly this season. We're just not really seeing anything from him. He's not having bad races.
So average.
Yeah, he's not doing anything bad, and there's nothing I'd go, oh, what's going on with him? I just think it's average, doing the best that he can with what he's given.
That's why I give him a 2.5, because that's straight down the middle of that, 2.5.
I did the same as doing. I just give him 2 stars because I know that he's capable of a lot more. And I just think not really much. Obviously, he finished lower than he qualified, and I think he's struggling quite a bit. Obviously, it's so competitive this year, so I think Gasly has got a bit of work to do yet, and that's evident in his performance in this weekend.
No, for sure. Alpine need to figure it out, to be honest.
Yeah, they do.
I think they will. This is one I'm excited for. Aston Martin. Finally, we are back to normal. Lance Stroll,
back.
He is back. And I told you, I actually said in Australia,
the last episode,
and in China, I said this is going to happen. I said, Stroll, he's had a good start, but we're going to be back. And sure enough, Stroll last, the only car to get lapped. He's back. He just had a very, very poor race and a 0.5 from me, which I'm not a hater of anyone, but I am proud to give Stroll a 0.5 because that's what he's on.
0.5 for me as well. And I was actually I felt like a proud mum last week, and I was actually kind of giddy for him. I thought, you know what, give him the benefit of the doubt. Well done. Give you the respect.
He's been great, for
doing better than Alonso. Jesus Christ, you couldn't 2 weeks.
Yeah, we can finally rank Alonso higher. Get in. I've been waiting for it. Okay, so Stroll 0.5. What did you say? Sorry, 0.5 as well.
0.5 as well. Yeah.
Okay, Fernando Alonso, 11th place, just outside the points. He seemed pretty happy about that.
He loves 11. That must be like his most common position.
I don't know.
Average.
A 3-star from me. Very solid race from Mr. Fernando.
I've been a bit more harsh. I'll give him 2 stars. I've not seen anything special. It's just the same old Alonso performance. Like, he's just pretty well at holding his position and being in that mid-range. I don't think it was anything really special.
I was really impressed with him.
I think he's had a bit of a hard couple of races to start with, but it's what we used to with him.
Yeah.
Like, it is just genuinely nothing special. Like, that is just where he's usually most comfortable and stays in races. So I expect more from him because he's definitely capable of doing it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just have to see how this develops with Alonso, but I do think in the next couple of races, before our few-week break after Saudi, I think he'll have points. In the next 2 races, he's going to score. Okay, Red Bull. Excited for this one. Yuki Tsunoda, home race. Obviously, out-qualified by both the Racing Bulls, which is not ideal, obviously.
Broke my heart a little bit.
Yeah. Not as bad as Lawson's been, but still outside of the points in a Red Bull. So it's still poor. 1.5 from me.
I think, though, taking into account how bad that Red Bull was doing, because it clearly is now outlined the fact that it's an issue with the car and the driver adapting to it. I think Tsunoda, going off what we've seen from that car with Lawson in it, I think for him to outperform Lawson in his first race back in that car, he's not been in it before, I think he's done well.
Okay.
Obviously, he could do a whole lot better because
teammate won the race though.
Yeah, exactly. So I've given him 2 stars, and I'm hoping. I mean, it was a really good race. We can come back to obviously his home race, which is quite nice to see. Yeah. But I'm hoping that number is gonna go lower and lower, and he's gonna make his way up the grid.
Yeah. No, he will.
Have to see how it pans out.
I think if someone can get under it, it'll be Tsunoda. Someone can control it. Anyway, moving on to the race winner, his teammate. It's just sensational, and he just does things that you don't expect him to do, and he just does it far too often. Max Verstappen, pole position and race winner, 5 stars.
So, I have given him my 5 stars because when I looked into it and actually considered how he performed in this race, what you will notice is, so, how fast is that McLaren? How fast?
That McLaren is very far in front of the other teams, 100%.
Okay. The last 20 laps of that race, Verstappen he kept the pace 1.1 seconds behind him.
Yeah.
So for 20 laps, he made sure that McLaren wasn't getting DRS.
Yeah.
How insanely talented in a car that is not
Probably
a fraction
third or
of
fourth fastest.
what that McLaren is, for you to keep him back for 20 laps, not even close to the DRS.
Well, the whole race, really, isn't
Yeah.
it?
But for the last 20 laps, he did not get DRS in him once.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
He's like proving what, in my opinion, is the GOAT, but he's proving why he's in this conversation of the literal greatest of all time. Like, when you witness stuff like that in front of your own eyes, how can you argue with it? That's just...
Exactly. For the people that do not like him and don't believe that he should win and whatever else, just look at that.
You can't argue with it.
He did not get DRS once in the last 20 laps.
You don't have to ridiculous. Like him, but you've got to respect that if he's just won in a Red Bull. Sorry, but even in the qualifying, like, the pace of that McLaren in qualifying, he shouldn't be on pole. He shouldn't.
And that car didn't get the fastest lap in history. The McLaren did not get the fastest lap in history.
Yeah.
Verstappen's Red Bull did. The RB.
Verstappen's tractor.
It's ridiculous. That man is leveled dangerous.
Above. Yeah. He's so good.
And time again, you know, people are so negative to him sometimes, but he just proved himself.
People just like to hate, don't they?
So
really?
stick that in your pipe and smoke it, guys.
Okay, Mercedes, our favourite team at the minute, I would say. Kimi Antonelli, beautiful race from him again. Can't argue with it.
Mercedes is
doing what he needs to do. Mercedes, a bit off the pace, but solid results again. Potentially Russell could have finished 4th, but come on, mate, we're going to give it to him. Kimi Antonelli, 3.5, great race.
So I've given him 3.5 as well.
I'm so impressed with him.
This is what I mean, the rookies this year aren't playing. Antonelli is going to have such amazing things in F1, and you can just see it. I think they've got a really solid team now, Mercedes, to do brilliant stuff with.
He's obviously got the stat now of the youngest driver to ever lead a race, but that's just because everyone else pitted, so I guess it's cool on paper, but he didn't really lead a race, I suppose. But I mean, he did obviously, but
convenient.
Yeah, not legitimately, but he's got the stat anyway. Yeah. So you know, if I had that stat, I'd flaunt it. 3.5 for Antonelli. George Russell finishing just ahead of him. I've given him a 4.
So I've matched it and given him a 3.5 as well.
Fair.
I think they both just they couldn't have done more.
Yeah.
They had 2 very good solid races. You know, that's what you expect from them. They did it, held their own. So
car weren't as good this weekend. They've got the max out of the car. Yeah. That's all you can ask for if you're lucky to get that out of both of your drivers. Red Bull know that very well. Okay, Williams.
Albon.
Mr. Alex Albon. That's 3 in a row where he has absolutely delivered.
I just love to see it.
4-star from that for Albon. He's had 3 absolutely beautiful races, and arguably behind a Verstappen and a Russell, you could argue Albon is having one of the best seasons on the current grid.
Fucking amazing season.
It's okay.
Sorry, emphasis on how good the season is.
Yeah.
All races, it's ridiculous. It's so nice to see though.
Keep it going,
and you can
Albon.
see that he's so happy with himself.
I know. He's spanking signs.
Yeah, and I think that though in itself is also kind of good, because I'd have felt quite bad for him if Sainz obviously turned up and then Albon's put on the back burner after carrying Williams for a long time, and I think he absolutely deserves it, and he's doing amazing with what he's got, and I think they're on to such a good path, and it's so nice to see.
100%, it's beautiful. So what have you given?
I have given him 3.5.
Ooh, you
but
bugger.
Yeah, exactly. But now I'm obviously looking at it, qualified night, finish night. I'm going to put it up to a 4.
Good.
Yeah, because it's, you know, he's had a very good race again, and it's
this is
brilliant.
his best season.
Yeah,
he's
it's
had by a mile
ridiculous.
so far.
I'm so happy
I hope it keeps
and
it
excited to see
keep
what
going,
happens.
Albon. Okay, Carlos Sainz, another poor weekend really. Sorry, audio listeners, that must have been the scariest sound ever.
I'm dying.
Okay, Sainz anyway.
Oops.
Poor weekend from Sainz, off the pace. Not really matching, not even close to Albon. 2.5, down the middle, average as.
I don't think I've given him more than a 2.5 in these ratings. I've given him a 2. And can we also talk about the fact that he needed to go to the toilet?
I can't believe that.
He's been fine. Do you reckon he actually did go for a poo?
I hope he did. If he's been fine for it, I hope he had a proper good shit in there.
Well, yeah, if it was a wee, you'd be a bit more like, oh, God's sake.
You told it, wouldn't you? But
You'd
yeah.
at least want
What was it, 20 grand? He'd been fine.
Imagine paying 20 grand to go for the toilet.
I know, I mean, that's how rich you got to be, aren't you? Look, hey.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of disrespectful. You pick your times, mate.
Yeah. Anyway, what have you given?
2 stars.
Have you counted in the poo or?
Yeah, so he would have had the 0.5, but he got fined, so.
2 stars, okay. Yeah, I think he's struggling at the minute, but he will. It's Calasigns. He'll get to grips with it.
He's spending more time on the toilet than he is
Than he is in.
Than he is in.
Struggled as well. He spent more time on the toilet than he is in
the Williams car at the moment, and it shows.
Right, let's just move on from that one. So McLaren, obviously, double podium. On paper, you would say, yeah, pretty good, but they are in an absolute rocket ship. It's like they put everyone else in an F2 car and they've got an F1 car. I'm not gonna lie, McLaren should be winning every race this year. So far, anyway, they shouldn't have let this one slip. So Piastri 3.5, solid race, and 3.5 is a very high score. I think they should have won. They should have had a 1-2 easy.
Don't listen to him, guys. Piastri, 4 stars. You deserve the 4.
Okay.
I'm really not a fan of how the race spanned out this weekend. And I'm not, and we both disagree on that. But I just don't agree with how it went. I think he had more pace. I think he was perfectly capable of probably doing Verstappen, maybe. I don't know.
But if you say that, but why is he not past Norris though?
Because he won't let him.
No, he tried to, he just couldn't. Because of the track. So he probably would have ended up not passing Verstappen, but who knows? Anyway, it's hindsight.
Well, we don't know. But
yeah.
He wasn't allowed anyway.
We've both put him pretty high. 3.5 and 4, there's not much in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. 3.5 for Piastri, and I've gone 3.5 for Norris. Basically had the same race, let's have it right.
But that alone, we're going to have some toxic stuff on that team this season, I think.
Yeah, it's going to come to blows. What have you give Norris?
Can I also add, right, I've knocked a star off because of the childish.
You can't, no, it's driving ability. You can't knock him.
Obviously, the whole pit situation, Lando comes out and goes straight on the radio. He's forced me off. He's pushed me off.
Where is he meant to go?
What are you doing? You're a racing driver, and how old is he? You don't have to come on the radio and be like, oh my god, you just pushed me off, guys. You just pushed me off. It happens. It's naturally going to happen. Where else was he meant to go? Unfortunately, sometimes on the track, there's not much, and sometimes you've got to sacrifice coming back a little bit.
I'm team Verstappen for that one. He's not going to just let you past him,
No, it's Max Verstappen. Realistically, he's one of the most hardest people. He defends, right? And he's not going to move out of your way for nothing. He would honestly rather go off the track himself than move out of your way just to be that stubborn. So I think, what were you expecting?
Yeah,
and he wasn't going to go anywhere.
What if you give Norris?
4.
So you give him same as Piastri?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
He's obviously finished higher.
They literally had the same race, pretty much. They were together on track the whole time. I don't think you can. 4 is. I nearly give them both a 4, but I thought that's a bit too. You know, you got to be winning a race for me to look at a 4. Anyway.
Gonna be a very orange top 3 this year.
Yeah, it is.
Yawn.
Every year you're gonna see McLaren's on the podium a whole lot. Ferrari, final. Oh, I can't speak today. Sorry. Last but not least, Ferrari.
I think Hamilton has been a victim of the Ferrari strategy.
Yeah, the Ferrari curse.
Now he's now fully fledged. You know, he's had his what's the word? I can't think of the word.
Let's just give him the rankings, man. This has been awful. We need to go. We need to go to bed.
I think initiation. Hamilton has finally had his initiation because the strategy is not working out for this
just do a Ferrari.
Yeah,
thing,
what is going on, guys? What is happening in that garage?
They produced a wheelie bin this year, man.
I was hoping for good things.
Yeah. I had Leclerc to win it as my season predictions. Obviously, that's not right.
That's gone down the drain.
Yeah.
The car's beautiful, performance is not.
Okay.
So, Hamilton qualified 8th, finished 7th, 2 stars. What are you doing? You know what? Kind of thought he was going to do really well this season. He's not.
Mm-hmm.
So, not much else. I'm expecting more. You can do a lot more. I think he had a bang average race. He didn't really do anything out of the ordinary, so 2 stars.
Yeah, I've given him a 2.5. Not much better. Again, 2.5 is obviously 50% of 2.5 out of 5 is the middle, like the most average race possible, and that's what I've given. Realistically, he shouldn't have even been in this like battle with Hadjar, which he was, and that's not good in a Ferrari, is it?
No.
To be that, especially when your teammate was, fourth. That's fourth and seventh. There's a bit of a difference there,
I think it's embarrassing on Hamilton's.
It's not been great, man. It's not been great. He's having a tough time. He's having a tough season. It's been a poor start. 2.5 for Hamilton. What if you give Leclerc?
So Leclerc's slightly better. I've given him a 3.5. That's just because I think he held his position well. Solid race from him, I suppose. Again, couldn't do much, but you're not getting in your car at the moment. You're not getting past the McLaren. Mm-hmm. So I think again he had a pretty average race. Did well to hold his position, and I think it's the best he could do this weekend. I think Russell would have had him though, but
it was coming. Yeah. Russell was on his way. I'll give him a 3.5 for Leclerc. Mm-hmm. Truthfully, I think that Ferrari was a bit quicker than the Mercedes this race. Obviously, I do think we're in for a close contest in constructors between Ferrari, Mercedes, Max Verstappen. Mm-hmm. I think we're in a great little constructors battle with them three teams, should I say.
Definitely. Very close.
Yeah. I just think Ferrari, it's every year now, isn't it? Like you said,
it's our year.
What's going on? It's hard to watch.
It's very hard to watch, I think.
Yeah, Leclerc's solid race, and Leclerc obviously he's a good driver, isn't he? But we haven't seen any of them in the actual race format be on the podium yet. Obviously, Mercedes have had a podium, Red Bull have had a podium, McLaren have had the podium. Mm-hmm. No Ferrari podium yet. So and we're 3 races in. This is poor. They need to get one quick, and it's looking like at the minute the man to do it will be Leclerc. So 3.5 for Leclerc.
Yeah, hopefully things get better and start looking up for Ferrari. Yeah,
I'm hoping to see more, and I think in time it'll come. Ferrari will whack an upgrade on, and they'll be in the mix again. Yeah. But obviously, having this kind of start to a season, it might be too late to drag all them points back because they are very far off McLaren. Yeah. So I think they're on 35 points, and McLaren are on 111. So that's 80 points nearly. That's a lot of a deficit, but it's obviously it's doable. It's just, can they put their ideas up quick enough? Because obviously they won't want to be finishing 4th in the constructors. They'll be at least on in 2nd, won't they? Yeah, definitely. So we'll just have to see what happens. But that was our Japan race rankings.
Slightly chaotic.
Yeah, we've dribbled a bit, but we've got through it.
I've sneezed a few times. Yeah, but
we've made it.
We enjoyed it.
So we're going to be back in a couple of days with obviously Bahrain. Hopefully a better race. Can't be worse.
I think it'll be a good one. Bahrain always is, isn't it?
It delivers. Bahrain delivers. There's a lot of on-track battles, which is what we need. We'll then obviously do Saudi Arabia the week after Bahrain, and then we will give you we'll have a big, long F1 debate, F1 2025 debate. That's a good idea. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
It's been interesting.
Pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Sorry. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.